That fumble recovery, Super Bowl 20. I cannot believe it was 40 years ago. The ball rolling around. Nobody could scoop it up until my next guest flew in there. So let's bring in two-time Defensive Player of the Year, seven-time first-team All-Pro Hall of Fame linebacker, Super Bowl champ with the Bears, former Niners coach, Mike Singletary. Welcome back. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I mean, I don't have highlights like that to show the world. I don't think that game, Mr. Singletary, goes off the rails quite the way it did if you don't make that play. What do you remember?
You know, there were a lot of plays made in that game that, really was a difference maker. But it was just a great day, a great game plan, great execution by the guys.
You made two huge plays. I'm sure there were more, but the two iconic ones I can recite from my head. That was one of them. If I were to go into the locker room after that win and had I gone up to you and said, Mike, 40 years are going to pass and this team's not going to win another Super Bowl, would you believe that?
No, I mean, obviously at that time with the talent that we had, the coaching staff, the whole 9 yards, there's no way that I would have even entertained anything like that.
As we celebrate the 40th anniversary, like, where does your head go first when you hear that?
Well, it just goes back to the making of that team. It goes back to the very first day that Coach Dicker came and we made the decision to keep Buddy Ryan as the defensive coordinator. And we just continued to work and improve and bring in players that really wanted to win, wanted to be a part of something special. And, we built that team.
It's also the 40-year anniversary of your first Defensive Player of the Year award. When you look at the stats, the accolades from back in 1985, which, as you were the best player of the greatest defense ever, which stat are you most proud of, Mike?
Well, probably the stat that's not on here, and that is playing in every game, being a part of every game, and just being available. That was a fun year, and it was exciting to be a part of, and the domination that we exhibited that year was pretty special.
You are the author of a new book. Congratulations. That's pretty special. Visualize Your Greatness is the title. Visualize Your Greatness, the playbook for the 7 C's of success. Now, you're being very, to use the C word, cryptic on what these C's are, but I'm imagining, and it's available, everybody, it's for pre-order now. You can get it on September 9th. I'm imagining consistency might be one of those C's as you're most proud that you were available. And I'm looking at these All-Pros. I was looking at your numbers, Mike. All-Pro. It's so hard to do one back to back, to do that as many times as you did. What is the key to that?
Well, I think, that C you came up with, consistency. It's the third one in that list of C's. And, that being consistent is everything, whether it's being consistent at working at our skills and continuing to get better at what we do. Being the best at what we do, we have to work at our craft. And if we do that, then the things in life that seems like comes very natural is just something that we work really, really hard at. And when we do that, it's difficult to tell the difference between the two.
I'm trying to pick, guess the other C's. I don't know that I believe that celebrate is one of them. I don't know if that's a key to success for Mike Singletary. You're smiling, is it?
No, it's not. It really.
I'm that's a pretty easy guess for me. I mean, Mike, this was one of those dominant seasons of all time. Did you celebrate it enough? Did you celebrate yourself enough? And do you regret that? If not,
no. If I had it to do over again, I'd do it the same way. It's unfortunate that we didn't win another Super Bowl, but in my mind, I did the right thing by not coming back to the celebration or whatever, because I was already thinking toward the next year. We're going to do this again. And so the fact that we didn't ever do it again is disappointing. But at the same time, I'm very thankful for the way that I prepared each time as if we were going to.
I understood. I would, I would hope you'd celebrate a little more, but we're here to celebrate you. And now 40 years later, Mike, I'm ready. I got two nephews watching from home right now. They're Packers fans. We lost them, the Chicago side of the family, because we've not been competitive. We have Caleb Williams. I don't know if you saw this, walking into, I think we have it, him walking into the facility. 40 years later, there's electronic key cards, keyless entry to get into the building. He arrived with the rookies. He came early. What message is that sending? How important is this?
It sends a great message. It sends the message that, hey, I'm willing to do everything I have to do in order to get the wins that we need to get into the playoffs, to get to the Super Bowl. Those are the little things that you do that you don't have to say anything. It's just the body language that says it all.
In terms of your book, Visualize Your Greatness, the playbook for the 7 C's of success, which C, or maybe not even a C, but which trait, which thing do you think is most important to Caleb Williams this season to have success?
You know what? I really think it's the first C, and that is basically having the courage to do the things that I need to do every day, even on the days that I feel like I've done enough. Am I getting out to practice early? Am I leaving late? Am I watching the film that I need to watch? Am I spending the time with the coaches? Am I spending time with those players, even those young players that are going in after practice? Am I getting them out there before practice start? Hey guys, let's get out there and work on this route. Let's work on that. Let's work on this. All those little things that he has to do, being able to do them every day, whether you win or lose, but win that day. That's the most important thing. And I think having the courage to do that, when you look in that mirror every night before you go to bed and ask that question, did I do everything today in order to win the day? If I can answer that question and say yes, then you know what? Everything else is going to take care of itself.
If we visualize Caleb's 2025, of course, added pieces, new leadership, great play caller, improvements to the O-line, hopefully, some decision-making, some experience. What do you think, if we visualize next year today, what will we be talking about with Caleb Williams as far as how he's improved?
You know, I will say this, from looking at him from a distance, he's a young man that really wants to be in the mix. He wants to hear his name. He wants you to hear the announcers call his name. He wants to hear the coaches talking about all of the positive things that he's doing to turn that team around, to make that team a contender. He wants to hear his name mentioned amongst some of the great quarterbacks in the league today. In order to do that, you know, I believe it's within his grasp if he has the work ethic, and if that's the case, then there are a lot of great things ahead.
Do you think he has the work ethic from things that you've seen, heard?
Don't know yet. You know, it depends. Depends on where he is. If he's honest with where he's at, and if he realizes, hey, you know what? This is what I have to do. This is my workload. This is what I have to do in order to get our offense to this point, in order to get our team to this point. And if he can do that, you know, it takes being honest with yourself about where you are and your knowledge of the game, because the better he becomes, the better he's going to have to be. So it's on, and I'm excited about watching the development.
I am too. And I think, he was so hyped last year. Generational talent, taken all of this, the new, the Eberflus, Shane Waldron, he's got weapons, all of that. I think he's in a better spot this year. That same sort of hype is being given to Ben Johnson. Is that fair? Should we be getting as excited as we are as Bears fans about Ben?
You know, I think it doesn't matter how much hype they get. If they're professionals, it doesn't matter. because they're not going to pay attention to it. Ben Johnson understands why he was brought in there. And, Caleb Williams understands why he's there. And everything else is all about the work ethic. It's all about all of that other stuff. That's for the fans. That's for people to talk about. That's for guys like myself to talk about. I'm not playing. But for those guys that are on that field and for the coaching staff, it's all eyes on this team. Everything that we do is about what we have to do this year. Everything else we have to box out and continue to move forward.
Mm. The number 68 has been sort of following him, ringing in his head probably. The league high 68 sacks last season doesn't happen very often. His rival, Jordan Love, I think had like 14 sacks. The average in a league is about 40. How do we get to about 40? Obviously, offensive line improvements. How does Ben Johnson help make sure that doesn't repeat?
I'm sure he's looked at a ton of tape this offseason. I'm sure he's looked at the mentality of the offensive line, the mentality of the quarterback and, the running backs, looking at the things that he has to put around the quarterback in order for him to be effective. If I want to see him get better, if I want to see him be the kind of quarterback that we all believe that he can be, then we've got to put pieces in place around him to allow him to be able to take those strides. And I think so far so good. They've been able to do that. Now, the thing that they have to do now is just continue to make sure that they do the little things in order to achieve what they're trying to achieve this year.
Mike, is this a playoff team?
Could be. I mean, I think from what I saw last year, it definitely could be.
Could be a playoff team in this NFC North, one of the most competitive divisions in the league, as we're seeing. Let's talk about some other teams that you've spent some time with. The Niners, of course, the Rams. I was looking at them this morning. They're neck and neck, Mike. I need to know who you think wins the division. Who wins the NFC West?
You know what? When I look at the NFC West, my gut tells me the 49ers. But I must say that if I look at the roster, the Rams are going to be right there.
What do you like about the Rams roster? Devontae Adams added. Of course, they still have the Wiley.
I like their defensive line.
You do? Yeah.
I like their defensive line. I think they have a defensive line that's very disruptive. They come off the ball, they get after the quarterback. And when you're doing that, you cause the defense to really rise to another level, especially when you look at the quarterbacks in the division, getting after those quarterbacks and getting in their faces, getting their hands up. I think, the Rams, like I said,
yeah,
they got a very disruptive defensive line.
So what do the Niners have to combat that? They lost some pieces that went to the Broncos. Like, who's the better quarterback? You got to give it to Stafford, who's won the Super Bowl, who's done. What is the argument for the Niners over the Rams, in your opinion?
You know what? It is when I look at the 49ers, it is a team that's been there. It's a team that understands the functionality, what it takes to be a great team. They've been there year in, year out. They've got a quarterback that believes that he can do it. They've got a coach that believes that he can do it. So I just think the 49ers have a lot of the pieces that have been a part of championship games, Super Bowls, those kinds of things. And when you have that, it makes a difference. It really makes a difference.
There's some bulletin board material for Sean McVay and the boys out there in LA, which I love to see. I don't know who will win. I'd like to see, I think I'm rooting for the Rams a little bit. I'd like to see Devontae Adams get a ring. I think he's a special player, so talented. That's something that I'd like to see. I'll ask you this. You know, when I think of you, obviously Bears and Niners, I do think of when I started Good Morning Football in that first year and you were with the Rams, the boxes and jumping up for the boxes and you getting the best out of your players by example. I remember we showed it and I don't know why I remember it so well. That was, I believe, Jared Goff's rookie year, correct?
It was.
Okay. When you're watching what happened last year, are you looking, what did you see in Jared Goff his rookie year? Were you surprised? Did you know it was coming? Did you know he had it in him? What were your impressions last year? Oh no. Did we lose him?
From the very first
Maybe
time
we'll take a short break here. That was, oh, there he is. Are you with us still? Okay, perfect. Did you hear the question?
Yes, I did.
Please.
When I saw Jared Goff as a rookie, the one thing that he's always had is work ethic. He has a lunch. I'm going to take my lunch pail with me every day. I'm working. He's a hard worker. He doesn't say a whole lot. To me, he's a coach's dream as a quarterback.
Wow.
He just gets after it. He just goes to work. So when you have somebody like that, it really makes a difference.
Sounds like commitment might be one of the C's in the book as I sort of keep my my guessing game going. It's interesting. Caleb Williams, you don't know about, but Jared Goff has work ethic, but you were, of course, around him day in, day out. I have to show you something, Mike. I don't know that you've seen this. You had some of the most intimidating eyes in the business. Okay, that was sort of your accessory. You didn't need this. We have Justin Herbert. I don't know if we have a good enough close up. Probably can't see that. These are contact sunglasses, my friend, that he's wearing. His eyes look red. It's sort of intimidating. What do you think of these? You didn't need these.
You know what? In all honesty, I think if it works for him, fantastic. But it's kind of hard for me to see it. It wouldn't really make a lot of difference to me. So
I got the laugh I wanted from you, Mike, which I love. What was the most in your time playing? Who had the most intimidating accessory? John Randall's eye black. You have the neck roll, a dark visor. What was the most intimidating?
you know, I guess when I think about it, maybe the guy at when you say intimidating, I would just
I
say
know.
different because you're not intimidated by it. But the guy that played running back at the Washington Redskins, he had the mohawk, the
Anyone?
truck,
Matthew
the
Hamilton? Riggins?
Riggins.
He was
Riggins,
intimidating.
number
He was different.
Yeah, the thing about Riggins, he was really different. When you play most running backs, they care. They care about who's on the other side. They're kind of looking over there to see where you are. This guy could care less. He looked like a guy that was just a normal, everyday guy going to work with a lunch pail, and
Mm,
he's going to hit you in the mouth every time. I don't care how hard you hit him. When you hit him, it was like hitting a Mack truck. He was a guy that was really, really different, and he had a really good vibe about him. But
that's great. High
yeah,
praise from
very,
you. High praise. Mike, you've
yeah,
coached
very
some of the
cool.
best in the league. Now we're getting coached by you, being able to read your new book, which we're so excited about. But you helped Ray Lewis get to his best. You helped Patrick Willis in coaching him. Who would you want to coach today?
Wow. Who would I want to coach today?
Pick one.
Wow. There, there are so many young players out there that are talented, but it's hard from a distance. to really say who would I want to coach today, because the players today, it kind of comes down to, once again, anybody that I've ever coached will tell you it's the guy that really wants to work. Because I always tell guys, I don't care about the ability. I don't care how fast you are. I don't care what you did in college. I don't care what you did last year. It's all about what you're going to bring today. And I want all of it. We are going to work as hard as we possibly can, because work ethic is the thing that takes you where you need to go. And for the guys that have that work ethic, we're going to get there together.
I love that. Your new book, Visualize Your Greatness, the playbook for the 7 C's of success: commitment, consistency. We don't know what else. And I like that you're not telling anybody. I'm very excited to read this. And it comes out on September 9th. And we will celebrate that with a C.
All right. That sounds good.
Thank you so much, Mike Singletary, for your time. I couldn't get you to say the Bears are a playoff team. They might be. I'm a little nervous now. I'm a little like, you're bringing my...
No, you know what? You shouldn't be, because whether I say it or not, it doesn't matter. It's what they say.
No, it does matter. It does matter. It matters so much. You're Mike Singletary. Okay, we're going to take a short break. The book is available right now for pre-order, and you can get it in stores everywhere at September 9th.